but I think it is absolutely outrageous that Treyarch have released the game in this state, and it's basically impossible for you to get to this round requirement without the game crashing. But unfortunately, the game experience overall has been tarnished due to the unstable condition that this game currently is. It is impossible for anyone to get to round 150 in this game right now without it blue screening.
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
So yesterday I was watching a video from Mr. Dalek JD about him explaining the classified ending cutscene. And I initially came into this video expecting just a simple explanation of what the classified ending cutscene means, and instead what I was met with was several minutes of him ranting about how you achieve the cutscene before finally hopping into actually the title of the video and explaining what the cutscene means in terms of the zombies' lore and storyline, and then spending 6 or 7 minutes at the very end of the video ranting about how Treyarch has messed up and how Black Ops 4 is a terrible game and how this is so stupid, and just whining the whole time. So honestly, while I was watching this video, it was starting to get on my nerves a little bit just how much he was complaining, and I don't know why, but this just rubbed me the wrong way. Maybe it was because I clicked on the video just expecting a simple explanation, and instead I was met with just complaining and whining throughout the whole entire video. But either way, I wanted to discuss it here and give you kind of my thoughts and opinions on it. And I do want to point out though, that it's not like I'm here to defend Treyarch like in every single way here. I do recognize that yes, the game does have problems and then have blue screens, but I also want to kind of give them the benefit of the doubt here. So one thing that Dalek in this video that John mentioned is that he was saying that he feels like the game released in an unstable state and that Treyarch and Activision released the game early to beat out other games to market like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Battlefield 5, and that they released it in an unstable state. And I personally disagree with that. I don't think that Call of Duty really had to compete with Red Dead in like any manner because they're two separate genres. One of them is a single player game and the other one is a multiplayer first person shooter. So for them to like beat out Red Dead Redemption 2 doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Sure, yeah, they might have beat out Battlefield 5, but then Battlefield 5 got delayed here until November, so it doesn't really make sense there. And honestly, when you look at it, when the game released, we got more content than we like ever have before, a month earlier than we normally would have. We got 4 zombies maps at launch. We got a huge, amazing multiplayer mode that works really, really well and has minimal glitches and bugs and plays extremely well. And we have a full-fledged battle royale mode that is one of the best on the market. It is like, it's way better than just about every other battle royale shooter out there. And all of this came a month earlier than usual. All the while, they were still supporting Black Ops 3, their previous game, for years and years and years. So I feel like we should cut Treyarch some slack here, that the game released in a really great state. And he did mention in this video that he's like, yeah, the Easter eggs are not very well QA tested, and that's because Treyarch wants to keep the Easter egg steps under wraps. So if they have a bunch of people come in, playing the Easter eggs and stuff, then the Easter egg steps potentially are going to get leaked, and then that ruins all the fun behind it. So there you go. That's why there's all these glitches in here, but it's not like Treyarch is just sitting there doing nothing since the game has released. So Treyarch employees still go in like every day, probably 9 to 5, and are still working on the game. They still go into work and are working regardless of, what month it is, regardless if it's, June 2018 or whether it's November 2018. They still go in every day and they work on whatever game they're working on. So really quickly, I want to interject. As I was editing this video, a thought came to mind. So Treyarch has actively been patching and updating Black Ops 4, it seems like every 2 or 3 days. As you can see here from Charlie Intel, Treyarch has posted a new game update and a game settings update every few days, and they are actively communicating with the community about what upcoming fixes are going to happen and what changes have been made. And Treyarch is constantly updating the game like we've never seen before. We've never seen this kind of support and this many updates and changes to a game this frequently. So this further goes to prove my point that Treyarch is still actively listening to the community and constantly updating the game and making changes and trying to better their game and fix the game and fix all problems that this game might have. Another thing that he mentioned in this video though that kind of frustrated me a little bit is that he was saying that they should have delayed the game and that they should have released the game a month later. and that the game wasn't ready to release on October 12th, that they should have released it a month later in November like they, traditionally do with Call of Duty games. And to that, I just kind of say, well, it's basically been a month since the game's been out, and there's still all these glitches with the game, with the Easter eggs. So your point being, what? If it wasn't fixed by now, then it wouldn't have been fixed if the game would have released now. There was still, a month here. So it really makes no sense for him to make that point. Also because he says that all these glitches and things are just rooted so far deep into the Black Ops 4 code and into the system itself that if they would have taken that extra month of developing the game, then, there would be no glitches and that the game would be just fine. But it's like, okay, well, if you're saying that, these glitches and everything are so far rooted into the game that they can't just patch them out, then how do you expect them to basically patch them out before now, if the game was still in development? It's the same exact concept. Like, I don't understand his point here that he's trying to make, saying that if Treyarch would have released the game a month later, it would be this polished, amazing, just absolutely perfection and just the best game you've ever seen. No, it's still the exact same thing. So it's like all the work that Treyarch is doing right now towards solving all of these glitches and blue screens and crashes and stuff are the same work they would have been doing a month ago, and potentially not even that, because like they said, the Easter egg steps have been hidden and they weren't very well QA tested because they didn't want them to be leaked. So there's potential here that even if the game released in November, there would still be all these crashes and bugs and things. So I also do want to point out that I'm not totally saying that Treyarch is off the hook for these. I have played through several of the Easter eggs, haven't completed any of them yet. A lot of it is due to crashes and glitches and bugs and things like that. I had a weird glitch where we couldn't revive one of my teammates, and that he was just permanently downed the whole time and could never bleed out, but also couldn't be revived, so that was kind of frustrating. But it was also kind of funny. I recognize it's a video game and it will have problems and whatever. I can always try it again. And the whole situation with this Easter egg cutscene, I want to make another video specifically talking about that with my thoughts about it. But I get that it is frustrating, yes, that you got to get to round 150, and that currently it's impossible to get there without the game crashing and blue screening and and all this stuff, and that the only way to get this cutscene is by glitching it and all this stuff. And I saw so many posts on Reddit about this. So many people were so salty. There was even a meme where somebody was like, "It's the hard to swallow pills meme," and somebody's like, "Even if there was no glitches and bugs and crashes and stuff, you aren't good enough to get to around 150. And I mean, it's basically true. Like, all these people are complaining about it, saying, "Oh man, if the cutscene still played at 150, and even if there was glitches and stuff, and that it didn't crash, I'd be able to get this cutscene because I'm a professional zombies player." It's like, no. The vast majority of players will never ever reach round 150 and ever get this cutscene. Even if the game was perfect and never glitched and never crashed, none of that stuff, like, there is such a small amount of players that would actually ever reach that round and get this cutscene that it's like, so why are you complaining that much? And it's just a cutscene. It's like, you don't get an achievement behind it, which also makes sense as to why Treyarch didn't include an achievement for this Easter egg. If they locked in an achievement behind an Easter egg that is entirely, up to basically the game not crashing and glitching and stuff like that, and plus around 150, like, that is really hard to achieve, then yeah, I'm sure that would upset a lot more people than it currently does. And so I understand why Treyarch decided not to include an achievement for that Easter egg. But at the same time, it's like, it's just an Easter egg. It's just a video game. So just because, even if it didn't crash and stuff, we'd still get people complaining, "Oh, round 150 is way too high of a round, da-da-da-da-da." And I even saw a couple comments on Reddit, people saying, "Oh, well, this is so stupid, Easter eggs are supposed to be fun." And I'm like, not really. Easter eggs are just there to either explain, like, the lore and the storyline, or it's just like a side quest, something for you to do. It's not like Treyarch is like, "Okay, well guys, we gotta make this fun for you, we gotta make this Easter egg hunt." Like, have you guys ever played the Shangri-La Easter egg? That Easter egg is not fun. Not fun at all. So the logic of Easter eggs are supposed to be fun really kind of goes out the window there. But overall, I mean, maybe it's because I play on Xbox that I've not really experienced this problem, and that I see all over Reddit and on YouTube and Twitter everybody complaining about, "Oh, the game is, crashing and blue screen and all this stuff." And I'm like, it's because you guys are playing on PlayStation. And I get that, some people can't help that, that's their only system. But when I see these YouTubers that they clearly have every single system. They have a PC that has Black Ops 4 on it. They have an Xbox One. They have a PS4. They continually choose to play on PS4 and try and get this cutscene. Even when it crashes, I'm like, just use your PC. Play on PC and you won't have these blue screen issues. Like, I've had a couple crashes on Xbox One, but honestly, compared to PS4, Xbox One, like, I'm sure you could probably get to around 150 on Xbox One. If you played on a PC, I'm sure you could get to around 150. So I'm not here to start like a console war or whatever, but I'm just saying that people have the resources to get to this round, and the Black Ops 4 itself is not necessarily broken. It's just something wrong with the PlayStation 4 version of Black Ops 4. At certain points in the Easter egg and certain points in the game, it decides to crash. Sure, the Xbox One crashes on occasion, so there might still be some underlining code there that needs to be worked on. Plus, today, Treyarch put out an update that fixed a lot of crashes and glitches in the Easter eggs. So it's not like Treyarch is just sitting there doing nothing. So I've kind of ranted on here about this, and I didn't mean this video to be negative. I don't mean to call out John, Mr. Dalek JD in any way here. I don't mean to like throw shade at him, but I just thought it was kind of something frustrating for the community and for me personally when I watched this video, because I went into the video expecting the classified Easter egg cutscene to be explained, but instead I was met with minutes and minutes and minutes of him just complaining and whining about it. So yeah, there you go. So I mean, he made a video about himself complaining, I made a video about me complaining about him. But overall, I just think it's a little bit dumb, and I felt like it warranted kind of a conversation here about the whole thing. I don't necessarily agree with Treyarch's decision to make it behind 150, to make it that high of a round. I also don't agree, you know, that Treyarch is necessarily completely off the hook because of all these glitches and, you know, and crashes and stuff, that they definitely still need to fix them. But at the same time, Treyarch is trying to fix them. They are aware of this, and who knows, maybe the cutscene will be brought down to around 115. That's what I've seen a lot of suggestions about on Reddit. I feel like that would be a very good and very appropriate round. That way, it's still really hard to get, and that you have to be pretty skilled to get there, but it's also not as hard and doesn't take as long as it does to get to around 150. So, there you guys go. Thank you for watching this video. Tell me what you guys' thoughts are on this in the comments down below. Like I said, I'll make another video specifically talking about the Easter egg cutscene and the requirements behind it a little bit more, and just about my thoughts on like the actual cutscene itself and all that stuff. So if you guys want to see that, make sure you guys subscribe, check out that video. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.